Hey everyone, Simply Zoological here with another episode of Saguaro Sanctuary. In today's video, we are going to be working on an exhibit for the Australia's largest bird species, the emu. We have 3 beautiful females who are in need of a forever home. So let's go ahead and get them moved in. Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel if you're new, and if not, then thanks for joining me again for another episode of Saguaro Sanctuary. So as I said in the intro, we are working on a habitat for the emu, which if you didn't see last episode, make sure you go and check that out, because this is the second half of that building that the cassowaries are also living in. So the cassowaries are just off to the right of where we're at currently, and then we will have the koala episode will be our next and final habitat build for this zoo. However, I encourage you to go and check out the cassowary build if you have not. I am personally really happy with how it turned out. I think that is probably one of my favorite habitats in this zoo so far. So again, I will leave a link at the top to go and check that video out if you haven't already. If you have, then that's great. Really quickly, I do want to point out that I'm sure you've noticed that this video may be a little bit slower than my normal videos. That would be because given the fact that this is the second part of the same building, when you are doing 2 or 3 habitats in one building and you do the building in one habitat and then the next habitat is just the habitat, you don't have as much footage for the second habitat. So what I had to do was I wanted to have a little quarantine area in this zoo in general for any animals that are sick, really. And so what I did was I put them at the back of this building, which you will see at the end of this episode. So I did want to point that out, that could be the reason that this is a little bit slower. I think it was mainly only the fencing that was kind of slowed down, but everything else is a little bit faster, I believe. And also, if you didn't know, that fencing actually came from the kangaroo and wallaby walkthrough habitat that I did 2 or 3 episodes ago now. So that's where that came from. If you haven't, go check that video out too. I will have that one linked up as well. But yeah, that's really all we have going on in means of updates. So let me just go ahead and talk to you a little bit about the emus real quick. So as most of you know, if you're not new to this series, then you know that Saguaro Sanctuary is all about rescue and rehabilitating Australia's wildlife. So given that, our emus do have a backstory, and I want to go ahead and share that with you really quickly. So during a severe drought in the Australian outback, a large mob of emus migrated in search of food and water. While crossing a dry riverbed, a sudden dust storm swept through the area, which caused chaos and scattered the mob. In the confusion, 3 young female emus became separated from the group, which left them disoriented and exhausted. They wandered for days, unable to find their way back. With no water and little food, they grew weaker and more vulnerable to predators. But luckily, a team of wildlife researchers conducted a drought impact survey and discovered the dehydrated and malnourished emus near an empty watering hole. Realizing the birds were unlikely to survive on their own, the team carefully transported them to a wildlife rehabilitation center. And despite efforts to track down their original mob, the emus could not be reunited. Hearing about this, Saguaro Sanctuary stepped in and offered them a permanent home, providing safety and space to thrive. And their names are Nova, Rhea, and Zara. So those are our female emus. That's a little bit about them. And now you can see that we are working on the quarantine area that I was telling you about just a bit ago. So for this, very similar to the cassowary and dingo build, I will link the dingo build up as well if you haven't seen that one yet either. Just using the metal plank walls and the metal girders, and then marquee beams in the middle of the girders, and then taking the mesh and using that as the fencing. So again, really simple, really easy, and it looks really nice. Here I'm creating a little bit of a doorway, and that's really all I do for this video. So with that being said, I am gonna go ahead and hop off. We have a couple minutes left of this, but there's really not much left. I do want to thank y'all for sticking around. I know that this video was a little bit shorter, again, with having the 2 animals in one building. It makes videos a little bit shorter the second go around, just because there's not as much to record because you've already seen it, you know? So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. If you haven't yet, please feel free to leave a like. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, it helps me out and it helps the channel out. But as always, there is absolutely no pressure to do so. And if you enjoyed the build, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. I love to hear your feedback. Anyways, that's all I have for y'all today. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to y'all next time. Bye!